Hello again, this is Robert Veach here. This is my video review of the Romwish brand of 4-foot LED light bulbs, 2000 lumen, 5000 K daylight. They only consume 80 watts and the equivalent of a 40 watt bulb, fluorescent. They're 48 inches long. They work with T8 T10 T12 fluorescent tube light replacements. And this is dual-ended power, which we're going to show what that means. But it basically means that we're going to put the power on the outer parts of the bulb. We're going to have the hot and the neutral on the outer parts. We're going to be modifying a fluorescent 4-foot bulb in my garage, and we're going to be replacing it with this. This has a 360-degree light pattern, has a nice clear plastic cover on there. First thing I'm going to show you is how these were mailed to me. It came in a nice, large, strong box, and then inside that box was a smaller, really durable box with thick cardboard. And then they were packed inside in their own little cardboard boxes with some foam. So I just wanted to show that. These things are just extremely reliable the way they were mailed to me. I was real impressed with that. So this is compatible with T8 T10 T12 fixtures, like I mentioned. You should remove the old ballast, or at least cut the wires. I like to remove it so that it ends up being lighter. About 110 lumens per watt. It's instant on and no flickering. And it uses high quality fireproof plastic lamp cover right here. Again, the angle is 360 degrees. There's no dark areas. These are very efficient. They have all these individual LED light chips wired in there in a configuration driven by 120 volts, and it consumes about 65% less electricity bill energy, and their lifespan will pay for themselves. Power consumption is 18 watts, the luminous flux is 2000 lumens, and it's dual end power. We're going to show that. The color rendering index, which is a measure of how efficient LEDs are, is 80. And that's what most LEDs are today. The lifespan of this is 50,000 hours, so that basically it's going to last a really long time. Every year I replace my fluorescent bulbs on these 4-foot fixtures. Every year, every 2 years. It gets really frustrating. So what I've been doing is I've been slowly changing out to these LED bulbs. And you might ask yourself, why not just buy an LED bulb that already has this in there on a fixture? Well, these work really well in a fixture that had fluorescent. And if you buy a lot of these cheap LED bulbs, they're not that high quality, and they don't have replacement lamps in them. So this allows you to replace these if you needed to, which you're not going to, but they're just higher quality than the pre-made ones that have the LEDs in them. And a lot of the ones that they sell are not 4 feet. So when you use 2 of these in a 4-foot holder that was fluorescent, these things end up being a very good value and end up working much better and being much brighter. This company, Romwish, provides a 3-year unlimited bumper-to-bumper warranty on these lights. If you're not satisfied with their 4-foot LED bulbs, just contact them on Amazon messaging system, and also they have contact information on their little pamphlet here that tells you how to wire these up, and it gives you some of the specs on these themselves. So here I am in my garage, and I have 4-foot dual fluorescent bay lights, and they may look bright on camera, but they're really not that bright. And as you can see on most of them, on all of them, there's one bulb. You can see the one right, bulb is bad, and this one, the bulb is bad right there. So it seems like every year, every 2 years, I've got to replace those with fluorescents. So I'm getting kind of tired of it. So I'm going to replace all 4 of these. And I'm going to show you the process. I'm going to pick this second one right here. I'm going to show the whole process from start to stop, how easy it is to put this dual-ended LED replacement 4-foot bulb in place of these nasty fluorescent bulbs. So here I want to do a close-up of the little LEDs that are on there. As you can see, I move across, and if I rotate this, there is a little reflector bottom piece on there that reflects the energy from the LEDs. That's where you get that wide angle dispersion of the light. Now if we move on to the end right here, you have your standard pins that will fit your fluorescent bay, and those we're going to be powering them. So to show you how easy it is to wire these up, I have a simple wire right here with a plug. I got the hot and a neutral labeled. Then I have it going to jumper leads just to test. I got the neutral and the hot. So we're going to put these on these ends, and it doesn't matter which end you put it on. So on this end right here, I'm going to be putting the neutral, and either one of those pins will work. Then we're going to slide this down, and we're going to go to the opposite end, and we're going to put it on this end. We're going to put the hot, and again, it doesn't matter. And now I'm going to plug this in, and now you see it lights up. So that's why they're called dual-ended, because the power is on each opposite end. There's the hot, and we go all the way down, and there is the neutral on there. That's how simple it is. Now I have a watt meter hooked up to the LED lights, and I want to show you. I've got it on watts, and you can see it's only drawing 16.5 watts, yet it's producing the equivalent of a 40 watt bulb. So your energy costs are going to go down because it's efficient LEDs. So here is the fluorescent 4-foot bay removed from the garage, and every light is different, but you can see it has one of those pull switches on there. We're going to disconnect that after we open this up. Now your ballast might be in here, and these ones I think they're here, or it could be along this metal cover right there. But we're going to remove this end piece and see what's inside there, and probably remove the ballast and utilize the wiring that's already in this unit to our advantage. So by removing this back plastic piece, by lifting these tabs, I disconnected the power there so I could remove this. We're going to be using these wires, the hot and the neutral, and the ground later on. But now you can see that I have a ballast, and that ballast drives both sides. So we're going to unscrew that, and we're going to remove that ballast, and we're going to remove that switch right there, and then we're going to show you what's on the connections. So after removing that ballast, here's what I'm left with. I have the connection here and a connection here, and there's two wires on there, and either wire could really be used, but we're going to make this side the hot. So we're going to take this and we're going to cut it right down the middle here, like that, and we're going to cut this one down the middle right here. And what that does is it separates so that now we can put these two together here and put these two together here and make both of these the hot. So here I have the wire soldered. Now you can see I added a little length of wire to make it a little easier, but all four of these connectors are connected in parallel together, and they're soldered, and I'm going to put electrical tape on those connections. You could also use wire screws if you're more comfortable with that. Now you see I have the connections wrapped with electrical tape and tucked inside so that they don't protrude, and I got separate wires here. The orange is going to be the hot. So I actually made a mistake, and I'm going to show you what I did. That green wire right there should not be connected to the neutral, because that green wire actually goes to the metal. So I got an ohm meter right here, and if I put that on that wire bunch right there and I touch the metal on the side, you can hear the ohm meter. So that is the ground, that green wire. So we're going to disconnect that green from this bundle, and then it's going to go to the ground on the input connection. So now we have the green wire disconnected, and that is the ground of this metal structure, and that's going to go to the ground of the plug. So to make things simpler and make sure everything's correct, I have the plug that it came with, and this is the industry standard. You see the G is the ground, and that is the neutral, and that is the hot. So if it's facing you, the neutral is to the left and the hot is to the right, and that's the ground. Now on the inside of the light, I have it labeled so I'll know that that's the neutral, that's the ground, and you'll see the ground is always green, and that's the hot right there. So all I have to do now is wire that into these wires. So I've got the ground, I've got the neutral, and I have the hot. So I'm going to do that next. So here I have it all soldered. I've got the hot, neutral, and the ground there, and it goes to all the connections I just made. Top connection, the hot, and the other three wires. Now you can snap this all back together, and it should be wired up and ready to go. So there I have it all back together, assembled and wired, and you can see that they're working great. When you put these in, they just rotate in place, and start off with them vertical and then rotate them clockwise, and that causes the LED array to be facing outward correctly. Now you can put these either direction. I decided to put the hot on this side, like I mentioned, neutral on the other side. Then I labeled the bulbs the hot where the label is on the bulb, but it's not important. You could put it either way, but I like to do that just for my own sanity. But there you go. Now I'm going to install them back in the garage and see how they do. Something I want to point out that I forgot to mention is both ends have special flame retardant material on both ends of these lights, and then the light itself has a tough but yet flexible plastic transparent cover on there, and that protects the electronics in the bulbs and the LEDs in there. So here it is installed, the Romwish 18 watt 4-foot LED, replacing my 40 watt fluorescent bulbs. And it's very bright, and it just illuminates beautifully this area. And I don't have to worry about changing those glass fluorescent bulbs anymore. So what do I think about the Romwish 18 watt 4-foot LED replacement for your 40 watt fluorescents? I love this product. I'm going to do all the fluorescent bulbs in this garage and in my basement with this product. I'm going to give it a full 5-star rating on my channel. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to alert you new video uploads. And if you like this review, please hit the like button. I hope the information I presented helped you with your buying decisions. Thank you for watching.